As you know, one of the things we wanted to talk about tonight is announce to you, and you've probably already read it, because of the announcement of the 18-year-olds and 19-year-old sisters. It's not changed gears, but it's caused us a little situation in Heritage Tours, and so we are opening it up to juniors in high school who they want to go on the trip this next summer, and then they would have a full year in seminary when they come back, and then go on their missions. So if that's a possibility for someone, we would hope that that would be something they'd want to do, and you can announce that to anyone that you can get in touch with. We're waiting for, we're going to have a young lady come here tonight from BYU. Lauren, you're not here, are you? Any minute? Okay, appreciate that. I'll go ahead and do a couple of things before she comes. You look at the handout we gave you tonight. This is not on the handout, but I might mention to you also, if you have any relatives living away from Utah or anything else that wants to know more about Heritage Tours. We did an interesting thing a couple of weeks ago. Brother Toon and I, this is Brother Jim Toon, who helps us with Heritage Tours. We did a podcast, recorded a 40-minute podcast that will go out over the air to a lot of Mormon sites and reaches quite a few people. And that'll be available. There'll be a link on our website for that just before Thanksgiving. That'll come out at that particular time. So I wanted to mention that to you. We have now, as you've noticed, as you've come in and looked at the board, we have filled a bus on June and almost in July. And so I want to tell you that, you know, on our first meeting, you who were here at the first meeting, and if you weren't here and you don't understand, everyone's on a waiting list till April 1st, but the point system really kicks in now. Because you can work your way up. Whoever's number 50, you can work your way up on that list over there by coming to the meetings, doing the assignments that we have in here today, and of course paying some of the money. So that will be in July, not quite yet, another 10 or so people in that bus. We're ahead of last year in numbers, so that's encouraging to us. We have had a couple of dropouts because they were 18 and they chose to go on a mission and they signed up for Heritage Tours in September. But we really hope that those that are not going to go will continue to look at this opportunity for this missionary trip. You know, it's interesting, I just thought of this today. It was just a couple of years ago, 2 years ago, that we changed from a family orientation trip where we broke the kids into families, we had a family father and so on, to a missionary experience where we have district leaders and zone leaders, and everything that we do on the tour is geared to missionary work, the MTC and all that. And then we have this announcement. By the way, we've made sure that you know that we really support the brethren in this decision. I think it's going to be a tremendous boon to the church and also to the missionary effort. And we just hope that maybe we can help out in some way in preparing the young people as they come. I would like to announce, because we are still looking for numbers, that if any of you have anybody, cousins or any in other areas that want to go, if you refer someone to us, we will take $100 off of your total cost. So if you have someone that's interested in that, that'll help you out a little bit in that regard. Turn over the page for a minute. We want to look at, every time I look at this page, I don't know what people think about it. Everybody has to have rules. There are things that we've seen over the years we've done here in the stores that all of these things come into play. And we've listed all of these things here for you, and each meeting we will pick out a couple of things and talk about them. But hopefully that you'll read everything in this little pamphlet tonight, and especially these things about the rules we have. They're geared for your safety and for, of course, the smooth workings of the tour. You'll notice we're even having a hard time kind of getting things changed over, because in number 2 it talks about, you know, boys and girls never be in each other's rooms except for family council. It's now missionary district meetings. So we haven't changed that word yet. But, you know, we hope that, I've had people ask me over the years, well, what do you do? I mean, you're mixing girls and boys together. Well, yeah, sure. You know, in the old tenting days, we used to have these big tents. We'd say, all right, girls over there, boys over there. And we have to be careful. Look at number 5, the pairing off of boyfriend-girlfriend relationships. This has been something that, you know, it hasn't been a big problem. But we know that there's young people that go that maybe are dating in high school and everything else, and maybe the boy talks his girlfriend to going, or she talks him to going. But let me just tell you that on the tour, if any of you are in that kind of relationship and you just pair off with him or her, you're losing an awful lot in the tour. We have to tell you to be very careful about that. We just, if anything, you know, would go wrong or anything else, and we see you off alone and all that sort of stuff, that becomes quite a problem for us. Number 6, I've noticed when you have a page of this, the 7 deadly hotels. On the back side of it, you'll see these 7 deadly sins. Now, I had kind of a hard time, not a hard time, changing from tents to hotels. It wasn't too big of a choice to do that. But that becomes one of our real problems sometimes. And I mentioned this, I think, in the first meeting. Brothers and sisters, the hotels we've used for some time. We'll have maybe 1 or 2 new ones this year. But they know who we are. And I'm on a first name basis with a lot of these hotel managers, and they know who we're coming. And I've even had them call me and say, well, aren't you ready to call us yet? And so on. So they know who we are. So the way we act in these hotels is very important. Especially the exposure the church has had through the election and everything else. And, we just have to really be careful in hotels so that we don't destroy our reputation and the things that we've built up over the years. So please look over those particular things and be aware of those. Lauren is here. I'm going to turn some time because Lauren's come from BYU and she needs to get back to work. Lauren Hathan went with us in July, and she just went with us in July, and she's got her mission call already. I'll let her tell you where she's going. Come on up, Lauren. She was one of the stars on the July trip. So, Lauren takes some time.
Okay. Hi, I'm Lauren Hafen. I'm from American Fork, and like Brother E said, I went on the July tour last year. And I loved it. You guys will not regret going. I want to read you a journal entry that I wrote while on Heritage Tours, and this was about the third or fourth day, and we were kind of getting into things, and they encouraged us to get out and start talking to people and give out pass-along cards and Book of Mormons. And at first we were all hesitant, but this is when I really started to catch the spirit of Heritage Tours, and I said, this is perfect. I cannot contain myself right now. We are reading about missionary work, and I'm so excited. This gospel is true. There is no doubt about it. I want to share it with everyone. How can I not share it? If I could shout it to the world, I would. It's blessed me in so many ways. Everything lines up. We have the power of God on earth for priesthood. We have prophets, just like in Bible times. We have a purpose in life. We live after we die. We have the Spirit of God to communicate with Him to us, and we have the Book of Mormon. I'm on fire. I love this powerful reality that I feel on Heritage Tours. It's the same way I feel when I go to mission prep. I think it's because I love teaching others about my passions. This feeling is so wonderful. And like I said in there, I've been invited to go to mission prep at the beginning of 2012, and I loved it. The powerful reality of the gospel was incredible, and I really caught that on Heritage Tours. And they encouraged us, like I said, to start giving out pass-along cards in the Book of Mormons, and we were all scared at first, but Brother Durfee was one of our chaperones, and he said that it takes 7 encounters of the gospel before an investigator really starts looking into the church. And so my friends and I decided that we were going to take every opportunity that we could to be one of those 7 encounters with people that we met on Heritage Tours. So we started giving out pass-along cards, and we started talking to people, and we were like, we're probably not going to see these people ever again, and that's okay. If we're scared and we don't do a very good job, it's okay, we're not going to see them again, but how can we not share this incredible gospel? And part of the hardest part was starting a conversation, and we came up with all sorts of ways, just talking to people in line when you're waiting to get food, or waiting in line for the restroom, or saying, hey, can you take our picture, or can you give us directions? And we start up a conversation, and they'd say, where are you from? And we'd say, we're from Utah, and we're on this tour. And then it really started to get going, and it was a good way to be able to bring up the gospel and share with them. And one experience that I had was at a laundromat, and I was sitting down, my friend was reading next to me, and this man was waiting for his laundry, and I decided that I was going to offer him a piece of gum. Just something simple like that. And it really sparked up the conversation. We started talking, we figured out more about each other, and his name was Augustine. And he and I talked for an hour, and we brought up the gospel in the Book of Mormon, and I figured out kind of what his needs were, and we talked about temporal happiness and how his boss was really rich, but he didn't find true happiness. And Augustine said, it's like there's something missing. And I took out my Book of Mormon, we'd been talking about it, and I said, this is what you're missing, and I can testify to you that I know that it's true, and that it brings me true joy and true happiness. And we talked about, I gave him a pass-along card, my friend gave him a pass-along card, and he said, so does this mean I can call the missionaries with this number on the back of here? And we're like, yes, that's exactly what we want you to do. And I just kept saying, Augustine, it's no coincidence that God wanted us to meet tonight at this laundromat. And he said, I know, it's like a miracle or something. He looked up like that. It's like a miracle. And I don't know, I didn't get his contact information, so I don't know where Augustine is today, but that was a really powerful experience for me to be able to share the gospel, even though it was a little bit scary, but I knew that because I was trying my best, Heavenly Father was helping me make up that difference of being scared. So that was really neat. And all my friends, whenever I talk about Heritage Tours, I say it was a 3-week mini mission, and I loved it. And for all you sisters who are now thinking about going on missions, it is a perfect opportunity for you to get out there and to experience real people and real situations and to practice sharing the gospel. And not only sharing the gospel, but to really strengthen your testimony. And all my friends that went said that they loved it, and their testimony was strengthened, and they loved sharing the gospel, and they wouldn't trade it for anything. They didn't regret going out, and they would go again if they could.